They can't say the same, yeah. I've been smoking on loud, hey, I can't hear a thing saying.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to a brand new episode of the Empire 161 Show, Season 5, Episode 11. And yes, we are opening up with We Die Once by Mike, period. I'm just going to make sure I note that.
Just Mike, period.
Mike, period.
Mike like Michael Mike or Mike like Mike Drop?
No, it's M-I-K-E, so I'm going to assume it's Michael.
Like Michael.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
But this is the song that one Marcus Stroman does warm up to. We'll be talking about him in a little bit. Thanks for joining us. So thanks for joining us on this Sunday evening, as always, most of the time.
Most of the time,
right? I think it's a safe way to put it. Excited to be here to talk about some Yankees baseball. We got a lot to talk about here this week. Good, the bad, and the ugly. Always got to get into all of it. If you're joining us on the Facebook live stream, if you're joining us on YouTube or X or wherever you found your audio-only podcast, we always appreciate the support. I'm Ed, and with me as always Lisa. Lisa, what's up? What's going on?
Hey, good evening, everybody. Yes, we have a lot to cover today. So we're going to talk about the series with the Mets, which, Ed and I have already heard from some Mets fans about this, and we might have somebody creep into our comment section today. I would not be surprised. It would be their first time this season in a while. Actually, it might be the first time this season.
Yeah, definitely.
So it would be interesting if they chose this one to come on, because that just says a lot. And we're also going to be talking about how the Yankees split with the Blue Jays this weekend. We're going to be talking about Aaron Judge's insane season stats and the fact that he received the most votes in the All-Star selection process. So he's an automatic starter. And I saw that, I think it was also Bryce Harper got elected in already. We're going to talk about what's going on with the Yankees lately. Why is Marcus Stroman yelling at Gleyber Torres? Should he have? I think he should have. And Gleyber totally needed his days off. We're going to get into that as well. And we're going to talk about something positive, because Garrett Cole looked like Garrett Cole today. And that was very exciting to see.
Yeah, absolutely. It sure was a welcome sight. I mean, it's good that we ended the week on a good note, right? Like that was a good one. It was a weird week, I would say. But a lot to get into. But before we get started with the Yankees, though, unfortunately, the San Francisco Giants have lost one of their own, and Orlando Cepeda. So it's just another legend. As last week we discussed Willie Mays, and this week, a couple of days ago, unfortunately, Orlando Cepeda has passed away as well. So Lisa, I know you had some numbers on Cepeda's career.
I do. So, it's never fun to talk about. I mean, not that it's fun, but it's never exciting to talk about this, and to have to talk about this twice in a row, kind of, I don't know. It's poignant, I guess. We're starting to lose all of these MLB greats and famous players. So, of course, I knew his name because he's Puerto Rican. He was born in Ponce, Puerto Rico. So Orlando Cha-Cha Cepeda, also known as the Baby Bull, he passed away at age 86. So God bless him for his long life. He was in the MLB for 17 seasons, and his career stats were: he had 379 home runs, 1,365 RBIs, 142 stolen bases, 297 batting average all time. He was in the All-Star game 11 times in his 17 years. He was the unanimous Rookie of the Year in 1958 with the Giants, and he was the unanimous National League MVP winner in 1967 with the Cardinals, and they won the World Series that year. He played for several teams. The longest tenure was with the San Francisco Giants. He also played for the Cardinals, the Braves, the Oakland A's, the Red Sox, and the Royals. And he became a Hall of Famer in 1999.
Yeah, no, definitely an illustrious career for Cepeda. Sorry, I like my glasses here look like I had fingerprints all over them. What the hell's going on here? But yeah, no, for sure. And again, also, I think this was it last night or was it Friday night? I think it may have been Friday night when this news broke. I'm trying to remember because I was watching like MLB Network.
Yesterday.
What was that?
I said I don't think it was yesterday, so it must
I
have been
think it
Friday.
was Friday night. Yeah, because I think I was watching like again like Quick Pitch or whatever on MLB Network, and then the news had broken. I'm like, shit. You know, again, especially the same team, right? Like he's mostly known for being with the Giants, so like, it's sad. It's just sad news here.
Yeah.
I did see though the San Francisco Giants, and I believe it was Friday also, where all the players had worn number 24. Throughout to honor Willie Mays. I thought that was actually such a nice touch.
Yeah.
As well to honor him. So yeah, it sucks, man. It is a note to start all fun.
Yeah.
But all right. I mean, we also, anything else on Cepeda though before we move on to the Yankees?
No, I just want to say because like I feel like it's a weird moment, so I just want to say that I feel like we are getting to the age range where the people that we admired as kids or we knew about as kids, like this is going to start being more of a thing that happens for people that are older than us, and then of course there are going to be people our age and younger that it happens to as well, unfortunately. But I've just started noticing more and more lately, like with older family members, older friends of the family, things like that. It just seems like now that's becoming, more of a thing in our lives as we get older too. So I don't know. I just want to name that because yeah, it's something I've noticed more. Like I know a lot of people who have lost a lot of people now.
No, for sure. Yeah, does not get easier.
No, it never does.
At any point. All right, so that does move on to, and actually there's a bit of a segue here as we do recap the Yankees week that was opening up with the Subway Series first round, which opened up at Citi Field on Tuesday and Wednesday. But on Tuesday game, the Mets did go ahead and take that one by a final of 9-7. But before the game, they did have a very nice moment of silence for Willie Mays, which I thought was actually a really nice touch by the Mets there as well. They had like a tribute video and stuff like that too, so I thought that was pretty nice. And he did finish his career with the Mets as well, so there is an interesting tie-in there.
And didn't they have his family member throw out the first pitch, or was that in the second game?
I think that was game 2.
Okay.
Because they did a little bit of a tribute prior to both games. But Tuesday's game was the highlight video and kind of a moment of silence there. Mm-hmm. Yanks were getting pummeled in this game at one point, but did launch a spirited comeback to cut it down. And you kind of felt like they had a chance to to come back in this game.
Yeah.
Which I do feel would have definitely set the tone for the rest of the week. Let me go over the stat line, and then we can get into more of the details of how this one kind of got away. Garrett Cole did take the ball for his second start of the season. He took the loss by his record's 0-1 at this point. Only lasted 4 innings, 7 hits, 6 earned runs, 4 walks, and no strikeouts, which is a big telling thing for Cole. Judge was 2 for 3 with his 29th home run of the season, 5 RBIs on the night, also with an RBI double and a walk and a run scored. Juan Soto was 1 for 3 with his 19th home run of the season, with 2 walks and 2 runs scored of his own. So, I mean, things got off to a rough start with Cole. I mean, his velocity was down. His location was all over the place. Yeah. And these are things that are kind of expected when a guy, is only coming back from, so he gets a mulligan, honestly, for a little bit. I would say probably 6 to 7 starts. Then you could start really, seeing, all right, where's Cole really at, expected from midseason form. Because to be honest with you, I would not be, and this isn't making excuses for Cole at all. And it's not, it has nothing to do with losing to Mets or anything like that. But he probably wanted to come back a little bit sooner than he probably should have, and maybe needed a couple more starts in the minors to continue rehabbing. But it is what it is. I mean, Cole at 70-80% is probably better than most starters anyway. So I could understand what they're doing here, but the pitch count is just, it drives me nuts. Like you just got Cole on the mound. It's just like,
I'm sure it drives him nuts too.
Oh, I have no doubt about it, and I've seen it in his mannerisms and stuff like that. But there was a point in this game where they cut the Yankees did cut into the lead before the Mets had 9 runs, and specifically there was a runner on third with 1 out, and Lindor goes ahead and grounds out to second base, and Gleyber Torres just kind of gives like a half-ass effort, and it gets through, and the floodgates open. It ended up leading to 3 more runs on top of that. So that was number 1. And number 2 was also in this game, and his last at-bat, he didn't hustle out the ball. He hit a grounder and decided to lollygag and was rightfully ripped for it. On the Yes broadcast, from what I understand, because I did hear it when I got home, and Sports Talk Radio was ripping him a new one and everything like that. Like it was pretty brutal, and it wasn't just like some fans, or it wasn't just us like talking about it. Like it was blatantly obvious, and unfortunately, this is not the first time we've seen this out of Gleyber Torres as well. Yep. I think that's the infuriating part, with him, is just that this isn't new. This isn't new stuff for anyone who watches the team. This isn't new, and I think a lot of us have kind of just had it with some,
including some of his teammates.
Yes, including some of his teammates, and we'll get into that a little bit further. But I was even shocked that after the game, Boone actually didn't just pretend it never happened, like he often would.
Oh wow!
I didn't actually like. He did. He didn't listen. He didn't go Billy Martin and like rip into him, but he acknowledged that it happened.
Steinbrenner, he didn't do that either.
Yeah, no, he didn't be like call him a fat toad or something like that. But like you called Hideki Rabu in the spring training game, which is ridiculous. No, Boone had commented on it. Again, everyone, even those who are mostly positive about these things, like they were even ripping into him as well. And it was very noticeable. And then when asked about it, Gleyber started talking about, like, I know he had like the tight groin, a couple of games before, and he was like trying to manage it. But I think anyone was buying it because he sat the next couple of games, which I was also encouraged by, because I'm like, finally something is happening about this. Because usually, like in the last couple of seasons, right, Lisa, like, he goes, he does these things, and nothing happens. Boone is asked about it in the post game, and he doesn't know what we're talking about or whatever, and yada yada yada. So it was something.
Yeah, during the broadcast, I got to catch some of the game when I got home from work, and I think it was David Cohn. I don't know, whoever it was like, this is when you usually sit the player down for a game and like just have him regroup. So I was not surprised after that to see that he was out. I was surprised that it was 2 games, but not surprised that he sat out the first game, because
I thought it was going to be more.
I wish it was.
Yeah.
I honestly wish it was, because he's like, you remember when we used to talk about like how Robinson Cano was like so chill about flipping the ball over and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. It's clear that like he's got that same style, I guess. But it comes off so lazy, and I don't know if it was this game or another game before it where like he barely ran to first because he was so frustrated.
Well, that was this game. That was the game? Yeah. That's the last at bat that I was referring to.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna sit there and act like it doesn't happen, right? If it happens on once in a blue moon when someone's out of frustration.
Yeah, no, but for him it happens too much. Like he doesn't.
It's all the time. That's what I'm saying. It happens pretty. That's what I'm saying. Like if this was the first time, we can be like, okay, fine. It's annoying, it's frustrating, but it wouldn't be such a big deal. But this is the norm. I'm not saying he never hustles, because that's also not true. Mm-hmm. But he does this pretty frequently.
Yeah.
Where he takes off plays, and then the defensive miscues in the field in big moments.
Yeah.
They happen quite a bit.
Yeah, it's he reminds me of like a bratty kid sometimes.
Yes.
He really
Yes.
does. I mean, he's not like not like pouting and stuff like that where it's like super outward, but it's like there's still that like that petulance in there with him. Like, you have to grow up. You have to be mentally prepared for how long a baseball season is, and that you are going to have slumps, and that's natural. I mean, Aaron Judge had a slump in the first month of the season.
It's hard to tell now, but
I mean, absolutely, and we'll get to that in a minute. But like, you didn't really see him being frustrated that whole time. You know, like maybe once or twice he'd be annoyed at something, but I don't know. I just think he needs to. I don't know, when you become a major league player, I don't know if people talk to you about like, what does professionalism mean, right? Like, for being a major league player. It's almost like, I feel like there's two things every pro athlete needs to learn: how to be a professional and handle the media and things like that, and also how to handle your finances. Because the amount of money that you make when you become a professional player anywhere is far beyond anything Ed and I will ever make together.
obscene. It's completely obscene.
So to handle those finances and like not just have like your cousin Bobby take care of them or like somebody else, like, you really need to know how to do that. And I just feel like I don't think that I don't know, I should say, that Major League Sports focus on that for their players. And I think the folks who have like strong family ties, and people that like truly care about them as human beings, not as like a commodity, like those are the folks that seem to do the best. But when you look at like major league players from days past, like, some of them are broke now, and it's because they didn't know what to do with their money, and they gave it to family members, and they bought people houses and cars and stuff, and they were very generous. And then some people just threw it away in bad ways too.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just think that they should have like financial advising classes, and then they should also teach you like, this is how you deal with the media, especially in New York, especially if you play in New York or in any of the big markets.
Well, I will say though that there has been reports, and other former players and current players have said for years, the Yankees actually do, regarding the professionalism and stuff like that, do address their players a lot, and it starts in the minors with them. So they do handle it. Now, what the players do with that information, it could go in one ear and out the other, or who knows. But I'm not going to say like I have never been frustrated to the point where it just happens. Like, shit just happens sometimes. You don't want it to happen, but you let it out. But
yes, but that's
this
like,
is, again, it's not the first time. It's
right,
just what it is, and that's why a large part of the fan base is locked in on him right now with this shit.
Yes,
you know, and it's become a huge story now with this, and with the team, with their June swoon, if you want to call it whatever it is. It is become an issue, and he's become the poster boy. I mean, Hicks isn't here, Donaldson ain't here anymore, and now it's become Gleyber Torres, and it's starting to creep back for Carlos Rodon, who we'll talk about in a little bit. Like, these are the guys who are now the next guys up that are becoming the poster boys. But another quick note on Garrett Cole, and we always get a kick out of first in Yankees history.
Oh, yeah, I wrote that down too.
Garrett Cole is the first pitcher in Yankees history to allow 4+ home runs, 4+ walks, and strike out no hitters in a game.
Yep.
I know it's very specific.
Yep. No, that was gonna be my note too. You beat me to it.
Yeah. Which, by the way, Katie Sharp is back. I know we were worried last week.
Hey, welcome back, Katie Sharp.
Yes, Katie Sharp is back. I've noticed. I've got some stuff from her throughout this thing. So,
good.
But yes, so again, Yanks did stage a comeback, fell a little bit short. They also Verdugo and Cabrera also had 2 balls ripped in the 9th inning, both right at Pete Alonso. So, and this one was not the one that really was disturbing to me, again, because you had a valiant comeback. Now this is a whole nother story here. So Yanks got completely smacked around in Game 2 by a final of 12-2. Luis Heel, not so good again. Took his third loss of the season. His record's now 9-3. Only lasted 4 in the third. 4 hits, 5 earned runs, 4 walks, 2 Ks. Aaron Judge, though, 2 for 2 with his 30th home run of the season. 2 RBIs, a walk, and a run scored. Alex Verdugo started to show signs of snapping out of his massive slump. He was 2 for 4. Yanks offense, 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position. So believe it or not, again, there was a part in this game where they were in this thing, right? There was
for
4-1
like
at one point.
Mm-hmm.
No, it was 4-1 for a decent amount of time, and then Gomez came in, and the floodgates just opened again. It just, besides the hour and change rain delay, where that was.
Oh, yep.
Crazy.
You were there.
Yes, that was. I mean, I know on social media a lot of the things is about the guy dressed up as Grimace by the Shea Bridge and he's chugging beers, and it was nuts. But on top of that, though, I was upstairs behind the plate, kind of like usual. And when that rain started coming, and I had my umbrella with me, it was a pretty trusty, good umbrella that I did
the
not.
The one that you left at Yankee Stadium, and then we were lucky.
I thank that woman. I thank that woman again this year.
You told me that.
She remembered it. So, she did. I swear to you, she did. Because Angie was like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "You remember when I told you about the thing with Lisa with the fucking umbrella?" And she's like, "Oh yeah." I'm like, "That's the woman that saved the umbrella." No, we all ran like to the little covering by like the women's bathroom and the men's bathroom they have over there, and garbage cans were flying all over the place. Like, it was wild. It looked like a scene out of fucking Twister. It was crazy.
Listen, let me tell you.
It was wild.
I am so happy I didn't go to that game, because you know what I would have been doing? I would have been in the women's room, like in a stall, just like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, get me out of here, please. Ed was a very good friend one time at Yankee Stadium with me.
Was that last year?
That was last year, yeah.
It was last year, right? It wasn't me, you, and Danny. It was Old Timers Day, no?
Yeah. That was really bad rain too.
But at least then we got to go to the 200 level, and we were mostly covered there. We were fine. But we didn't get wet. We actually didn't get soaked in this one at all. But we saw it like front and center. It was crazy what was going on there.
And they were like, "Yeah, we'll just wait. It'll be fine."
Well, the thing was, they just said it was going to be short-lived. And it's true. Like, it didn't go on that long because it did, like, calm down. And, they got to, like, get the tarp off and yada, yada. So the actual insane downpour did not go on that long. But when it did, boy, did it ever. It was wild. So other things regarding the actually being at Citi Field thing. Food. Yeah, discuss the food briefly.
Oh, what did you have? I also have a couple of stats, but go ahead.
No, yeah, it's true. You want to get to the stats, or you want to?
Yeah, let's do the stats.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's wrap up the baseball portion, then we'll get into the other minutia of the stadium.
So the two stats are that Francisco Alvarez, the catcher for the Mets, is one of only 3 catchers to hit 30 career home runs at age 22 or younger. Do you know who the other 2 are?
Piazza?
Catchers.
Mike Piazza.
Yeah. No. Okay. Sorry.
Yogi?
Nope.
Bill Dickey.
Nope. You got one more to guess.
One more to guess. All right. Johnny Bench.
Yes.
Okay.
And there's one more.
Ooh, all right. So I get a bonus because I got the other one right.
You got a bonus, and I'll give you a hint. This person was a Yankee for a little while.
Pudge?
Yep.
All right. Boom.
You worked through it. All right.
I thought I went Yankees Mets because I thought that it was like in the theme, but I didn't. No, I got to be honest. I wasn't thinking outside of that. But go ahead.
And then the other one was that when Aaron Judge hit his 30th home run during the game, it matches the pace that he had in 2022 when he hit 30. For this one, he hit his 30th home run in 82 games, and that matches the pace for 2022. So, who knows?
It's back on.
Who knows?
So, oh, by the way, also I did see shots of Gleyber Torres, and those spread around social media during this game, and he was kind of like had his hand in head in his hand, and he was like looked completely miserable and everything like that.
Well,
I
you know what?
I laughed. Good. Just that's it. That's what this is supposed to do.
Yes, be
It's
miserable.
supposed to do that. Yeah, you're not supposed to be happy about this whatsoever.
No. Yeah, they commented on that. They actually, I think it was today, maybe yesterday. They showed a screenshot of what he looked like during that series, and then what he looked like. I think it was yesterday
Yeah.
at the game, and it was like two different people. Like he was so happy, giving high fives and whatnot.
Yeah, and we'll get to that because as much as I'm gonna rag on him, I mean, there's other things
You
that
have to
happen
praise
too.
him too. So,
Absolutely.
But anyway, tell me about the food.
All right.
I love hearing about food at stadiums.
So Tuesday, when I sent you your picture of Mr. Met,
thank you.
That was from the right field level, and I had went to this burger stand that was there. Really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently, all season they have a Juicy Lucy burger, which is there. Okay, that's one. It's like our Minnesota origins and stuff like that. And I'm sure when that day comes, gets to Target Field, that'll definitely be had there. But the other one like rotates, and it was a Subway Series burger. They actually have like a menu there and it tells you what dates it is. This other burger is being served on. The Subway Series burger I passed on because it sounded ridiculous. The Juicy Lucy burger I went with, and it was fantastic.
Wait, but I want to know what was the Subway Series burger?
I'm going to tell you the truth. I don't remember. No,
okay.
It sounded gross. I was on a line and I was reading the two, and I'm like, which way am I going to go with this? And I'm like, I would highly recommend the Juicy Lucy burger though at Citi Field.
What made it good?
Delicious. It is somewhat reminiscent of the 99 burger. I wouldn't put it quite on that level, but it's close. It's close enough. I liked it. It was different. You know, I'll try whatever crazy stuff is there, and if I don't like it, then so be it. But you know, I gave it a shot, and it comes with a side of chips with Parmesan on it.
Oh, that sounds good.
So I was like, oh, that's not so bad. Now, Wednesday night's game, double play hot dog from the cheesesteak stand down the left field line on the field level. Highly recommend. Lisa, it is basically a Philly cheesesteak with a foot-long hot dog in it. I know it sounds weird, but
I don't like hot dogs.
You don't like hot dogs,
so
Angie got the cheesesteak though from the same stand. Those are the two options that they served at that stand, and we both were like, "Yes, this was really good." I think she did try part of the double play hot dog I had. It was good, and I was honestly deciding. I thought going into it, I was just going to get a hot dog, and that's kind of why I looked that up. And then when Angie had mentioned the cheesesteak, I was like, that sounds interesting. And then I'm like, perfect. A mashup of both that I didn't know existed. It was awesome.
That sounds like a lot.
It is a lot. And guess what? No, but I knew going into it, I was like, just take it light during the daytime, and then that's it. And now Ice went with us to this game.
Oh, really?
Ice bought the tickets, yeah, and this lady came.
So I'm trying. As we're talking, I'm trying to look up
Juicy Lucy burger
and see the Juicy Lucy and if they have the Subway Series one. I can't find the Subway Series one yet, but I am on their page looking through their.
If you look through the Citi Field,
that's
like a dining menu, whatever. I sent the site to Angie so she could look up because she actually didn't know what to get. Here,
so they have a championship burger, and they have a Mel's Butcher Box burger from Pat LaFrida.
Okay. Oh, they don't look the thing. Yeah, no, I know what she's talking about. So it's from Adam Richman's Burger Hall of Fame in section 105.
Oh, I passed that.
So the Juicy Lucy burger, 2 3-ounce LaFrida patties stuffed with American cheese, topped with sauteed onions, served on a potato roll. That's what I had. Pretty good.
It says it's a French onion soup inspired one. Did it taste like that? Do you know?
Yeah, I would say yeah. I kind of would say that that's what the Juicy Lucy thing was like.
That sounds like you just shouldn't eat all day and then just eat that at the stadium and you'll be fine.
No,
That's
that's
what that
sometimes
sounds
if I'm gonna go in at a game, I usually do that. I usually take it light for the day, and that's it.
Yeah.
If you're gonna have like a regular thing, then no, whatever, it's a regular thing.
Yeah. Oof.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad it was good.
Yes, it was. So I'd highly recommend that if you find yourself in Citi Field, which I actually think I have a Foo Fighters concert to go to in a couple of weeks
nice.
there. So there will be one more time that I'm there. So, but I know also for concerts they don't usually have everything open.
They'll probably only have like the burgers and like the standard things.
That's
so I know.
Me and Cliff were talking about this yesterday, and we both agree though. Like the Yankee Stadium food is excellent. There's a lot of I've rarely had something bad there. Now, but I will say Citi Field has more options. There are many options.
They do.
And you will find something. And I don't shit talk Citi Field. Like I've once or twice have had something bad, and that's it. And I can't say that hasn't happened elsewhere too. It's happened at Yankee Stadium too.
You had those. What was it? The tater tots with the. What was it that you had that you didn't like at Yankee Stadium?
Which by the way, there's an update on that.
You had a positive experience?
I did have a positive experience.
Okay, good.
It was in Lobel's. The Lobel's,
yes.
Filet mignon, barbecue steak on tots. Now remember I told you, and the receipts are there, right? I said it was a chillier night. Me and Angie got that, and we felt like the cheese wasn't melted, and everything kind of felt like blah.
And you said the steak was mostly fat.
It was very fatty.
Yeah.
It was. And listen, I'm not saying that it doesn't gross me out immediately, but I can't have it.
It grosses me out. That's one of the reasons why I don't eat steak.
No, Angie, no. But it's rare that happens.
Mm-hmm.
Joe, on a later date, when his first game of the season, he had to have it. He was all about it. And he loved it. And we went another time, me and Joe, and I tried it again on a warmer night. And it was much better.
Okay, so there are certain foods that you have to wait until like June to try. Is what I'm.
No, I will. No, I can't say this is the only time it happened because like there was you know how much I love the steak top fries in the stadium, right?
Mm-hmm.
I had that on what the hell was it? Was it an opening day one year? No, actually, it was a hockey game. It was Rangers Devils, the Stadium Series. So this was in January. And I had it, and it like got cold in like 2 seconds. Cool. And it was like blah. And me and Angie both were like, "This sucks."
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. There are certain things that you have to wait until like June.
Fries and stuff like that, you shouldn't do because if it can get cold fast, then don't waste your time.
Yes.
Just pro tip.
Another pro tip: when you make the hot chocolate, stir it before you put it in the cup for us.
It did happen at Citi Field, an opening day this year. Where I got light brown water.
That's so gross.
But they were nice enough to go and check, and the guy was like, "My bad." He even showed me the thing. He goes, "Someone didn't change the thing." He made me a new one, and it was delicious. And I was like, "All right, cool."
Well, that was nice of them.
Yeah, it was good. It was cool. They did the right thing. And I also had a sausage and peppers at Citi Field one time. I mean, it was a while ago. Me and my father got them, and the peppers and onions, raw, not cooked.
Ooh.
I wanted to throw it at them. That's how annoyed I was. But we were already at the seats, and me and my father just like we dumped that off and just ate the sausage with the roll. It was bad, but whatever. Everyone has their bad days. So, but no, it was cool getting to Citi Field again this year, and we'll see. Who knows? I might end up there as a random free Met ticket. Cliff will call me like an hour before the game, like, "Hey, you want a free ticket? Let's go." So, all right. So the Yankees did go ahead and move on to Toronto, but unfortunately, things didn't change too much as they opened up the 4-game set by getting smacked around by a final of 9-2. Carlos Rodon took his 5th loss of the season. His record's are 9-5. 5 innings, which is probably the only positive thing I can say about his start.
Yeah.
10 hits, 8 earned runs, 1 walk. Oh, actually, sorry, 8 strikeouts in 2 innings is not awful. That's
I have a positive thing to say about him too, but I'll wait.
Trent Grisham, 1 for 3 with his 5th home run of the season, 2 RBIs and a run scored. But that was about it. When Trent Grisham is your highlight of the night, Yanks only had 3 hits, and Trent Grisham had one. But yeah, this was the game where Rodon was getting taken out in the 5th inning, and actually convinced Boone to leave him in.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
When Brickford was halfway in, it was so awkward.
Yo, that kid like ran halfway down the middle of the outfield and then was like,
yeah,
and turned around. It was so awkward. I bet the rest of the bullpen was clowning on him.
Oh, I guarantee that was nonstop. I mean, he got in eventually, but apparently Rodon really wanted to at least finish the 5th inning. And again, doesn't excuse him getting smacked around for the night. Yeah. But Rodon has gotten hit pretty damn hard these last couple of starts. So, he's got to find it. I mean, everything was just right down the middle. Like, he's just serving up batting practice. Yeah. It was pretty bad.
It was, but I do have to say I really respect that he was like, nope, let me get these last 2 outs. And, he did. And I think that the team needed to see that. Like, that's the opposite of Gleyber Torres.
Yes, who did not play this game either.
He was Carlos Rodon was doing bad, and not the first time in a row that he pitched and didn't have a great game. But this time around, he was like, no, let me just finish the inning first. I thought that was pretty cool in terms of like showing up for the rest of your team.
Yeah, no, I don't ever get the impression that Rodon doesn't give a shit. It's just that I just think
Oh no, I'm not suggesting that at all.
No.
Gleyber Torres can learn from that.
Yeah, I just think Rodon needs to buckle down a little bit. When things start going awry, he has to be able to chill and refocus and kind of get him. He's got good stuff. I mean, it's like he doesn't.
Do you think it's because he wears the new shirts instead of the old ones?
That could bother everybody. It bothers me watching him.
Because his shirt gets see-through throughout the game.
A lot. It happens quite often. I just can't. I've been trying so hard to not focus on that anymore, and because it hasn't gotten any better. It's bad. And again, we're about to enter July, so
it's only going to get really bad, folks.
Yeah, it's only going to get worse. Gleyber Torres would return to the lineup though on Friday night, and the Yanks would put up their season high for runs scored with 16 by a complete beatdown of the Blue Jays by his final 16-5. Marcus Stroman, who we'll get back to in a minute, took a no decision. He only lasted 4 1/3, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 3 walks, and 3 Ks. Michael Tonkin picked up his 3rd win of the season out of the bullpen. Juan Soto, 2 for 4 with his 20th home run of the season, 3 RBIs, 3 runs scored, and a walk. Aaron Judge, 3 for 5, 2 RBIs, 3 runs scored. The mentioned Gleyber Torres, 2 for 4 with his 8th home run of the season, 3 RBIs and a run scored. Alex Verdugo, 2 for 5, 2 RBIs, a 2-run scored. Jahmai Jones, who was the DH in this game, not the first time this week, unfortunately, but 3 for 5 with an RBI, 2-run scored. And DJ LeMahieu, 1 for 4 with an RBI. And Lisa, his first extra base hit of the season.
I know.
With a double, which is insane. But it did finally happen for him. All right, so Yanks were down 3-1 when Juan Soto did hit his 3-run homer, and it was a green light because he was up 3-0 in the count. And that really just basically instantly turned the tide for the Yanks. They went ahead and took the lead. Everyone erupted. Things got going. It seemed like, all was well. But earlier in the game was a moment with the bases loaded, and when Stroman was in the game, there was a double play ball that was hit and was not turned on Vladimir Guerrero Jr., which is a guy you should probably be turning a lot of double plays on. Not to talk about those were not fleet of foot, but it is the truth. Like, that's a double play ball that should be turned.
Absolutely.
Now, Marcus Stroman's reaction, though, losing his mind and screaming, and you could read his lips very clearly, throw the fucking ball. You know, like no, sorry, it was throw the fucking ball, bro. Like throw the fucking ball, and that happened. And the bright spot to that though was that there was a shot that the Yes booth got of Aaron Judge pulling him Stroman over immediately, went up to him, and again reading his lips again, you can see Judge told him, "We don't do that here. Doesn't matter. We don't do that here." And Stroman took it to heart and looked like it was there. And as I think I had mentioned last time, he took to social media and praised everybody and apologized and stuff like that. He even said, you know, got my emotions got the best of me at that moment, and him and Glaber chatted about it. Apparently, we were good after that. But that shouldn't happen. I mean, it really shouldn't. Because what if he's going to start? What if Glaber wants to go ahead and turn around and say something to you about when you get smacked around? I mean, Stroman didn't exactly have the greatest start here either. So it's just what you don't do as a teammate. Like if someone fucks up, as mad as you might be, you don't just completely throw them under the fucking bus right on the field. Like that's teammate 101 shit. Like you just don't do that. And kudos to Judge though for being a captain and addressing it immediately as soon as they got back to the dugout. You know, that was the silver lining part to take away from this. That you got to see Judge's leadership immediately on full display right there, and nipping that shit in the ass.
I have to say though that while I agree with what you said on the whole, I do think that sometimes you need to see, I mean, maybe not the whole world needs to, but like the team needs to see that team members are like frustrated, especially when it's been a little while. And what I appreciated about what I heard them say is that Marcus Stroman, like immediately, I don't know if it was after the game or during the game, I think it was during the game, like went over and apologized to Glaber.
Yeah.
And then when Glaber got a home run, like he was the first one out of the dugout to congratulate him and stuff. Yeah. So it's good that like, you know, like you got it out, you know, like you had your outburst, and you were able to sort of like course correct the relationship so that it didn't stay tense, if it was tense at all, right? But we're also talking about Glaber Torres here, and I feel like somebody's got to do it to him because he's acting, like I told you, he's acting like a child, right? And when you act like a child, somebody has to be like, cut it out, like you know, like get you like, oh, all of a sudden, and then talk to you about like why is it that you're like, this is why you're so frustrating right now. This is what's going on. So like Marcus Stroman did the cut it out first, and then he spoke to him and said that like, this is why it's annoying. This is why like you have to start contributing and like doing things that are sensical and stop doing those mental errors. I mean, I don't know if that's what he said, but and also, you know, the team as a whole has been like inconsistent lately as a whole, except for Aaron Judge. Ooh, sorry, there's like a bug in here. And I was wondering, like, when is Boone gonna call a team meeting? Or Aaron Judge, because he's allowed to do that. Anybody's allowed to do that, I think. So I don't know. Like, even if this ended up being like a mini team meeting because it was done publicly, I'm okay with that because I think that the team needs a meeting.
Yeah, I don't disagree that they do, and we'll get into the why what's happening is happening with them. It's just in the nature of. Again, I don't think Stroman necessarily meant he didn't have any like bad intentions, but it's just the way that it came out was probably the wrong thing. And again, I'm on Judge's side with this to nip that in the ass. And who knows what they talk about in the clubhouse? Like, for all we know, Glaber could have got reamed by somebody in the dugout, like in the clubhouse. We don't know that. Like, we have no idea. So, but again, this is why you don't show up other teammates on the field because again. Then Glaber chooses to do that when Stroman gives up a home run. If he throws his glove up in the air or does some dumb shit like to show him up, then it becomes a back and forth, and then everyone else can jump in. It snowballs and it gets out of control. That's wwhy you just, again, there's ways to do it and ways not to do it. You pull them to the side and be like, yo, listen, get your head out of your ass. Let's fucking go. Let's do this. And again, we both played on teams forever, and we know that's usually, how it's done. You don't go ahead and, like, again, do it literally on the actual field. As aggravated as you may or may not be with one of your teammates' performance at that moment where they're struggling or something. Just, you pick them up and let's go. So, all right. Well, though, good night overall. You would think that this would be maybe the turning back around thing, but unfortunately, the Yanks would not build on that momentum and got smacked around by the Blue Jays again by a final of 9-3. Nestor Cortez got his 7th loss of the season. His record's now 4-7. Only lasted 4 1/3, 7 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 walk, 5 Ks. Aaron Judge 2 for 3 with an RBI and walk. Austin Wells, though, 2 for 4 with his 3rd home run of the season, 2 RBIs and a run scored. Ben Rice 2 for 4 with a double, first extra base hit of his career. Gleyber Torres 2 for 4 with a run scored. So, at least his first 2 games back, he did pick it up offensively. Like, he's hitting the ball now again. So at least that's something to start off with. He also made a spectacular play in the field as well at one point in this game. So maybe he snapped out of it. Maybe he's actually woken up.
We'll see.
We'll see. I know it's a very small sentence.
So I do want to give a stat. It's about Vlad Guerrero Jr., which hurts me to say. But I have to give credit where credit's due. Over his last 8 games, he's had a .457 average. He's gone 16 for 35 with 6 home runs and 20 RBIs. And he cut his hair.
Did.
And people are speculating that means that he wants to be considered.
Well, I will.
After all this time.
We didn't get a chance to talk about it, but he did an interview recently regarding that whole thing, because it's, the Blue Jays are in last place, and most of the time, teams would kind of blow it up. And he has been backtracking a bit on his comments regarding the Yankees, how he would never play for them and stuff. And he's like, hey, he didn't say, mention them by name, but he was just like, if I'm traded wherever I go, I mean, that's it. I'm a professional. I'm going to do what I got to do to help the team that I'm on. So, stark contrast from I will never play for that team, blah, blah, blah. I mean, we'll see what happens. We'll get into potential stuff like that in a minute, but no, I mean, maybe. This one's tougher than like Alex Verdugo. Like, Vlad has been such an a-hole to us for years. Yeah.
This one's tougher to imagine. I gotta say. I don't know. I know everybody loves Doogie now.
Well,
so everybody gonna love Vladdy?
Well, everyone loved Doogie for the first 2 months, and now fans have turned on him a little bit since he went into a slump.
Everybody goes into slumps.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that is what it is. DJ LeMahieu was in a slump. I mean, he just hit his first extra base hit. Yeah. Like, get over that part. But
I also have a note on this from Katie Sharp, actually. The Yankees at this point have now allowed 100 runs in 13 games since June 15th. That's the most in Major League Baseball over that span. The second most is 91 runs by the Colorado Rockies in the same amount of games. Lisa, that is epic. Epic shitty pitching. Epic shitty pitching. I mean, look, this week we're going on about 9, 12, 9 again. Like, it is insane what's going on right now. But let's go ahead and get to earlier today. Yanks did salvage the series by taking a split. Oddly, smacking the Blue Jays around 8-1. This was a series, 4 straight games of non-competitive baseball. We just got to keep on blowing the other team out. Very, very weird.
It was a weird. Yeah.
It was. It was rarely ever even competitive. But Garrett Cole did make his third start back and picked up the win. His record's now 1-1. He went 5 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, and 6 Ks. The velocity was back. The control was back. He had a better pace and a rhythm, especially in the 4th and 5th inning. So that was nice to see. And the pitch count monster kind of got him again. Otherwise, he definitely could have kept going in that game. So we'll see, because now he's at 80 pitches. So you would assume no more pitch count. We're good. We can go to 90. We can go to 100. We're back. We shall see. Aaron Judge, 2 for 4 with his 31st home run of the season. 2 RBIs and a run scored. Gleyber Torres, the 2-hit game, 2 for 5 with a run scored and double. Juan Soto, who was not in the original lineup, and then about 5 minutes before
they said pitch, a minute before the game,
he went up to Boone and was like, "Hey, is it too late to get in there?" And he said, "I don't think so," and got him in there, and he got a hit in the 1st inning, setting up Judge's 2-run homer. So he was 1 for 3 with an RBI and 2 walks and a run scored. DJ LeMahieu, 2 for 5, 2 RBIs, a run scored, and another double. So maybe, the machine is showing glitches of starting to kind of like snap out of this. We'll see. Trent Grisham, 2 for 5 with 2 runs, 2 RBIs, and a double of his own. Also in the lefty-lefty matchup, so that was pretty interesting. But yeah, I did not mention Soto did not play in Saturday's game because of a bruised hand, because of an awkward slide on Friday night, and it was frustrating. Soto's not a guy who normally gets hurt. This is the second time we've had to deal with Soto missing some games, and I don't think it's necessarily on him. I think this is the Yankees being extra cautious again, like we've known them to be for last couple of years now, and they held him out, but apparently he made significant progress and just got himself into the lineup and did his thing.
How do you make significant progress with a black and blue or whatever?
Lisa, because I think he could have played Saturday, and I think it was the Yankees who were like, no, we got to put him back in bubble wrap. And Soto ripped open the bubble wrap and was like, fuck your bubble wrap. I'm playing. Let's go. And because it was like, oh, he's going to get additional imaging on Monday because it's an off day tomorrow and all this other crap. And that's why I was like, what the hell, man? Like, what is going on? But then back in the lineup and instantly made an impact right away. So good to see. Again, we'll find out if this carries over and maybe this is it. But a very weird series with the Blue Jays, though. The blowout, 4 straight games of blowouts. It was odd. I did have a couple of things on this. So, Aaron Judge, though.
I have a stat.
Yes,
it's probably the same.
let's do that because this is the last game they've played in June.
Yep.
Okay, so we can kind of. Aaron Judge has been completely out of his mind.
Yep.
In the month of June.
And in May.
And in May. Oh yeah, no. May and June he's been out of control. But he is only the 4th Yankee in history with 80 RBIs before July. Joining Ruth in 26, Gehrig in 27, and in 1930. And now Aaron Judge. Like, these are the types of players that he's getting named with consistently during this run. So it's a bit crazy. And then most home runs before July, Judge 31, Ruth 30 back in 1928, and Ruth 30 in 1930.
He beat out Babe Ruth's record for the month.
Most home runs before July. Yeah.
But before July, sorry.
But wait, there's more. Number 1, Aaron Judge leads the American League in batting average right now, 316. Home runs, 31. RBIs, 82 now. That's Triple Crown. He is currently the Triple Crown leader. And also leads in slugging at 708. On OPS with 1114. Extra base hits, 55. Doubles, 23. Total bases, 213. Like, bonkers stuff here. More OPS by month. We're just going to combine March and April because we can play a few games in March. He had a 754 OPS, right, in March and April combined. In May, he had a 1397 OPS. And June, 1378. He's the first player to have an OPS greater than 1,300 in consecutive months in minimum 100 plate appearances since Barry Bonds in August and September of 2004. Ironically, Judge's childhood idol. Just wow. 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 What do you have on Aaron Judge?
I mean, it's significant, but it's not like as like standout as. I mean, it is pretty standout, but like the things that you just said are kind of like, geez, man.
Eye-popping,
you're talking
right?
about all these other amazing players that already played, and he's right there with them, and we're watching it now. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I have his stats for May and June. So in May, not all his stats, just a few. So in May, he batted .361 with 14 home runs and 27 RBIs. And in June, he batted .409 with 11 home runs and 37 RBIs. Like, whatever. He needs to be on a Wheaties box at this point. Like, I think he earned that right to be on the Wheaties box. I was listening to one of the games on the radio on my way home from work. And I'm gonna
Emmanuel Bavari,
the other guy,
Ricky Ricardo,
thank you. I was gonna say I know his name. Ricky Ricardo, they both were talking about him, and Ricky Ricardo was saying, you know, everybody says that Shohei Ohtani is the face of baseball, right? Like, or has been for a little while. And he was like, I disagree. I think it's this man right here. It's Aaron Judge. He's like not only the face of MLB, but the face of baseball for like the world. Like everybody knows who this man is right now. And it's insane.
Yeah, I would agree, because I've said for the last couple of years, him and Ohtani are the co-faces of baseball.
Yes.
I think that's fair to say that they would be co-faces of baseball.
And like, I think it sounds like Shohei Ohtani has been able to not really get dragged through what happened with his interpreter too much, which he got lucky with that. But you don't hear anything. Aaron Judge is like the Derek Jeter of baseball now, and when it comes to like his life, like you just don't. Except he's not dating because he's already married. But like you don't hear anything about this guy, and the way that when we were talking about Willie Mays. He sounds like the modern day Willie Mays. Like, he interacts with kids. He's very fan friendly. I'll tell you who he's not like, Christian Yelich, who I hear is such a jerk to fans, and he doesn't acknowledge them. Come on. I mean, I had a great experience with him. I don't remember how old they were, but I took my two godsons to a game, and without knowing it, Aaron Judge threw my older godson a ball. And then the very next inning, he threw my other godson a ball, making me the best aunt in the world because they both got a ball from Aaron Judge. And in between the inning, I was like, oh, my God, the young one's going to hate life. Like, he's going to hate life because he didn't get a ball from his favorite player. And my other godson, who at the time wasn't as into baseball as he is now, got the ball. There's a picture of him holding the ball up, and my other godson's like so mad at him. I should put that on. If I could find it, I'm gonna put it on the Instagram page. But I mean, like, and again, like he didn't even realize they were probably like, you know, related to each other or whatever. There were a whole bunch of kids there, just happened to be. But like he interacts with people, you know, like he'll stop and say hi. When I was able to do the meet and greet, he and Giancarlo Stanton took the longest time going from one end of the outfield to the other because they were stopping and taking pictures and signing things and talking to people. And Anthony Volpe too, I should say. The three of them, it took them the longest to get around.
Yeah, I'm sure there was also like a lot of fans who really wanted to meet them and stuff, and they took their time. And it's good.
But that was when Juan Soto had just started playing for the team, and everybody was hyped for him, right?
Yeah.
Homeboy ran right by my section and was like, "Hey!" to he barely talked to anybody in my section. So, I mean, I was in like the front of the section for him.
Okay.
But like, there were other players that people were really excited to see too. But yes, of course, like Aaron Judge is going to be one of the marquee players, and of course, I wanted to see Giancarlo Stanton. So, but still, like there were other players on the team that like people, like, I could hear people talking about. Oh, I want to see this one. I want to see that one. But like, just to be as famous as he is, and the way he presents himself is like that's what it means to be professional, Ed.
Yes,
that's what it means.
That's exactly what it is.
He should give a TED talk on how to do that.
Yeah,
he really should, for like the rest of baseball, because that's what you do. You sit there and you answer all the questions from the reporters, and you have the same tone of voice every time. Like, you don't get mad. You just smile and you answer the question, and you answer every question no matter what it is. Yeah, and you talk about the whole team. You don't talk about me. You talk about we.
Oh, he always, anytime in post-game stuff, they ask him about some crazy shit he did and stuff like that. And even actually, it was in today's post-game. Yeah, like Meredith was asking him about, his month and stuff like that. It was just like, just try to stay locked in and, focus on what I got to do day in, day out, And that's like, you just kind of, you can tell.
And then he was probably like focus on what I do day in and day out. But did you see Garrett Cole and how he showed up for the team today? Like,
oh no, he's filled into that whole thing. Yeah. So of course, that's become customary for Judge now. And you're right. I agree with you. It's the way it needs to be.
Yeah.
I mean, all right. So I guess let's just talk a minute about like what the hell's going on with this team. Over the recent stretch. I mean,
what the hell's going on?
It's the truth, though. I mean, listen, the starting pitching, for as great as they were for the first 2 months or so, the wheels have come off. I mean, bad. Clark Schmidt, obviously not here. Bluey's heel has reached the most innings he's pitched. That limit is already here. So he'll get an increase there, but you got to wonder if he's feeling it a little bit. And he's got to make some adjustments and stuff. And we talked about possible transition to the bullpen as the season goes on, because they're going to have to figure out something here, because he's not going to throw over 100-plus innings versus what he pitched previously. Actually, last season, he pitched 4 innings before getting hurt. So this is already a significant jump up. So you have to wonder what's there. So, but first and foremost, for me, the starting pitching has to get it together. Like, Carlos Rodon has to get his act together and just don't get obliterated game in and game out.
Yeah.
Garrett Cole, again, he gets them all again for a little while.
Yes, I agree with that.
He's still kind of working his way back. Nestor wasn't terrible last night. He's been fine. Like, again, he's been fine. And that's kind of my expectations of Nestor. So as the nasty Nestor, and I know he made the All-Star game a few years ago, but realistically, I expect him to be a mid, a 3, 4, or 5 starter. If he's all 1 or 2, it's a bit unrealistic expectations here. Marcus Stroman, he's been good. He has been good, but he's the one who was not getting completely lit up. Actually, remember, he's the one who beat the Braves, the last time and stuff like that. So, but they're going to have to. It starts with them, because when you give up the amount of runs that we talked about in 13 games, that is, no one's winning. I don't give a shit who you're running out there. It can be the 98 Yankees offense, and it's still not going to matter. Like, you're giving up 9 runs a game or some shit like that. That's bonkers. Okay? And the other thing, too, is the lineup. It can't just be Volpe, Soto, Judge, and then hope for the best. Because that's kind of what it's been, if we're being honest, for a little while now, during this slump. Verdugo has gone ice cold. Labor temporarily forgot how to play baseball, and now it seems like he's remembered again. So hopefully that continues. Knock on wood. We're knocking on wood again, hoping it continues. But no, like Verdugo, hopefully he gets going. DJ has had 2 extra base hits over the last couple of games, so hopefully, I've already stated I'm very concerned with DJ LeMahieu. I personally think he's kind of washed. Ben Rice, I'm liking what I'm seeing from Rice. Besides his completely ridiculous error on Thursday night, which I did not get a chance to mention, at first base, where there was a ball that looks like it may have been rolling foul, and he let it try to roll foul and hit first base, and that opened up the floodgates. So he's learning the position now. He's a career catcher who's learning how to play first.
Yeah, he gets a mulligan for that. He's also
no, he does, and I'm just, but my point is, I want to see more of Ben Rice in the lineup every day.
Yeah,
like, that's what I want to see. Let him, for whatever it is, let him learn. Because I'm liking what I'm seeing at the plate, especially like this week. I know he wasn't in there, but he's had great at bats. Maybe not always resulting in hits, but the at bats are there, and I think you got to see what you got with him. Because the trade deadline is about a month away now. And if you need to make some moves, which I do think they need to make some upgrades here. Like, there's no question about it. But if Rice can kind of solve first base, if Labor Torres can actually turn it around and start, doing more of what he's close to what he does, besides the gaffes in the field and that kind of shit. But at least at the plate, if he can start giving them that, and Verdugo could snap out of a slump, then they will revert back to the team that they were before very quickly if the starting pitching and bullpen get their shit together. The bullpen also hasn't been great either.
Yeah.
All facets of the pitching staff have gone to shit in this.
Mm-hmm.
They're not this bad. Maybe they're not as good as they were in previously, but they're also not this bad. Maybe they're somewhere in between. This bad. No, because this is 1990 Yankees bad. Like, this is bad.
Do you think anybody has a pair of
Hopefully
cougars?
No one's dating anyone in high school. It's just hopefully that's not there.
Or buying cougars, literal cougars, the animals.
And hopefully that same person is not bringing a cougar into the clubhouse. As soon as that happens, shut it down. That's it. Season's done. That's it. Just don't even bother anymore. End the story. I can't believe that. Oh, shit. Yes, if you're not getting the reference, check out on Peacock. Bronx Zoo.
Check out like 3 episodes ago. How about that? Watch 3 episodes ago of our podcast.
Crazy stuff. But yeah, the pitching, listen, they're not doing much of anything right now, if we're being honest, in all facets of the game. Defense looks like shit. Pitching looks like shit, but it starts with the pitching. And Judge isn't being affected. Soto's not being affected by any of this. Volpe's been okay, but he needs to get, like, those 3 I'm confident, but then after that, it was like, why would you pitch to anybody? Like, after a while, they're just going to not pitch to Judge anymore, and they're just going to start walking him. Even with the bases loaded, you might as well just do it. And dare someone else to try to beat you. 1 run in
instead of 4.
No, it's true, because that's the level we went over the numbers. That's the level he's hitting on right now. So it's true. It's crazy as that sounds. I've only seen that happen once. Buck Showalter walked Barry Bonds with the bases loaded during his super juicing He-Man era. And that's the ultimate sign of respect. You're just going to say, we will give you a run because we're scared you're going to put up 4 if we throw you a strike. Other guys got to step up. Now, the trades, and there's going to have to be some moves. And I'm going to be honest, the infield is a place they're going to have to kind of upgrade. Cashman's going to have to 2 arms in a bullpen, I would say. I think the rotation will straighten itself out, but you got to get some swing and miss guys for the bullpen. I don't know who they're going to be. You do. And there's a guy, Ryan McMahon. You can look him up. He's on the Rockies. He's a guy who shouldn't be too tough to get. Rockies are really bad. Maybe you want to go ahead and try to get him. He plays second base and he plays third base. He would be a nice addition to the Yankees here. He's putting up solid numbers. It's not like all-star numbers. He's putting up a good season. And Luis Rengifo from the Angels, another utility guy who doesn't strike out a lot, puts the ball in play, and plays multiple positions. It's just 2 guys that maybe you want to start keeping an eye on. And
I'm sure they are.
I would hope, because there's been some trade deadlines where
I know, where we're like, what, you didn't
Cashman, let's go, buddy,
happened?
come on.
Nothing.
Yeah, but this goes back to the other stuff though, right? And I don't know if we talked about this last week or not. I actually don't remember. But you can't prospect hug, and we'll be talking about this leading up. Like that's been a criticism of Cashman. You can't hold on. You got to know when to get rid of these guys.
Yeah.
Like, Gleyber Sanchez. I'm sorry, Gleyber Sanchez. Wow, I just mashed
Gary.
it together as
You
the
did,
same person.
but that's interesting that you did that. It's
because my mind
interesting that
has
you
them
did
as the
that.
same person. Gary Sanchez and Gleyber Torres. It's almost like we're reliving that all over again. Just at second base now.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
That's
That's
very
true. That's
interesting.
where the mind went. And yeah, it feels like that all over again. And these are guys you wish you would have traded when you had a chance. Miguel Andujar, even though he's having a good season for Oakland right now, like he found it eventually. But these are guys you should have traded, and Clint Frazier's another one. The list goes on and on. When you had to know when to get rid of them. So I'm not saying Spencer Jones should be shipped out the door immediately, but some of these guys you got to learn to part with. And what really sucks though, Lisa, is that when Stanton went down, we didn't get to we didn't talk about this aspect of it last week. They had the plan in place for Jason Dominguez. Basically, that was the spot we all thought he was going to take.
Yep.
And then he gets hurt at the same exact time for 2 months. Like, imagine if Stanton, and then I like Stanton also, but if he would have went down and we would have like, all right, cool, call up the Martian, let's go. We would have been like, all right, cool, let's go. No big deal. He'll jump in there and he'll do his thing. And if Verdugo's slumping, okay, no problem. We got Jason Dominguez to get in there too. An outfield, Lisa, of Soto, Jason Dominguez, and Aaron Judge.
Mm-hmm.
That it's still very much in play for later on this season or even in the future. But it just that was shitty timing. That just went down like that. So
yep. What's the what position does that really tall kid play? That's in
Pirates?
the minors?
Oh no, Spencer Jones.
Yeah.
He's an outfielder.
Yeah.
So I mean, somebody would have to move. Well, actually, no, because I mean, what it is? It depends on how long Stanton's out for.
Well, he says 4 to 6 weeks.
Which we know usually means more.
8 to 12.
Yeah, exactly. It could be 8 to 12. Hopefully, we see you before 2025. I don't know. He's in Double A right now, but hey, listen, they called up Dominguez from Double A.
They did.
Also, I would be curious to know if it doesn't get better soon, if they would be willing to do something like that. Historically, no, but I don't know. They also called up Ben Rice, and I was happy but kind of shocked that happened.
Yeah.
So.
Oh wait, so I have a question because the month of June for me at work is always crazy with the end of school year stuff. So I didn't know Jason Dominguez got hurt. What happened?
Was it an oblique? I believe it's an oblique for 2 months.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It would have been we all kind of had that in the back of our minds. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, unfortunately, when is Stanton going to get hurt? Because we know it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And then we're tracking simultaneously Jason Dominguez's rehab, and like if this can only align perfectly, we're covered. And
things never happen like that, Ed.
Hey, it was on track. It was on track, but unfortunately it went way off the track.
Yeah.
And it did not happen. Mm-hmm. So but no, just listen, with the trade deadline coming, just things to keep an eye on. Because they definitely need to shore this team up. They have holes. Every team has holes. But
of course.
Better sooner than later, because you just don't want this. We're talking about this again next week, and the Yankees are getting blown out in a bunch of games.
I'm going in there to have a team meeting if that happens. That's it.
Something's gotta give at that point. All right. So that takes us to the awards. So we got our top of the. This is even a conversation.
I mean, there's only one person.
Okay.
You want to say it on 3?
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Aaron Judge. Yeah, I mean, it's to choose anyone. I was even going to say pick somebody else and just name it Aaron Judge and then just go for whoever number 2 was. Because as we mentioned, Judge's numbers are completely out of this universe.
They're ridiculous.
I mean, they're just. I had it pulled up, but I hit wrong.
I got him if you don't.
Go ahead. I was just going to highlight his last 7 games, which I actually did.
Yeah, that's what I have.
Okay. Go ahead, Lisa. You go ahead, David. It's fine.
All right. So he had a 524 average. His OPS was 1.615, 3 home runs, 12 RBIs in 7 games, 6 runs, 11 hits, 3 walks. His on-base percentage is .615, and his slugging percentage is 1,000.
It's disgusting.
Disgustingly amazing.
Yes. I'm just saying, it's just crazy. It's like, I don't know what any superlative you can put to it. It's just what it is. Like, Judge is just all world right now. I mean, it is bonkers. And just to think that people were questioning. We were discussing. Remember, what's wrong with Aaron Judge? Is it his personal life, or was it this, or was it that? And it's like, no, I'm good.
Yep,
I got this. If he ends up hitting 60+ homers again, considering he did nothing in April, that's actually more impressive.
It sure
than
is.
what he did a couple of years ago.
It sure is. Yep.
So, all right, and nice. So King of the Hill pitcher of the week.
I had to deep dive the bullpen.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I mean, I'm gonna go. I think we're gonna do it again.
I don't think so.
Michael Tonkin?
I didn't. No, I picked somebody else.
No, I went with Tonkin because, to tell the truth, like it's the starting pitching has been bad. I mean, we've highlighted it. Nobody, even in the 2 wins. I mean, Cole was good today, right? I could have went with Cole, and
I thought of him at first. I thought of him, and I was like, "Nah, let me look at the bullpen first."
No, I went with Michael Tonkin because it's true. The guy is still.
No, that's a great pick.
The guy's still doing his thing, and he's gotten him out of a couple of jams, like especially bases loaded jams he was brought into, like fucked situations where he still finds a way to at least make it respectable and get him out of it. So the dude's been a revelation. I mean, just absolute revelation for the bullpen. So what do you got this week?
I picked Tim Hill.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, because he pitched 5 innings this week, and he had a 1.80 ERA. So I had an honorable mention. I know I had an honorable mention, Jake Cousins, as well, because he was better than other folks in the bullpen, which doesn't say much, but yeah, Tim Hill, he had I think if I'm not mistaken, he had the most innings pitched of the relievers. So
sounds about right.
That's why I gave it to him.
Okay. All right, so that takes us to our preview as the Yankees will welcome in the Cincinnati Reds and Ellie De La Cruz this is actually the first time he's making his Yankee Stadium debut because the Yankees played in Cincinnati last year when he got called up. So let's go through the pitching probables because I did want to talk about this. There's a potential huge issue coming up with the Reds specifically, and the Yankees matching up with them, but we'll get to it in a minute. Go ahead. Who are the pitching probables we got for the upcoming series?
So for Tuesday, it's going to be Graham Ashcraft for the Reds. He's a righty, 4-4 record, 5.45 ERA, and 52 strikeouts. And he currently is going to be up against Luis Gil, but I heard that they might give him extra days. I don't know because they already do have him on. He's a righty, 9-3 record, 3.15 ERA, and 99 strikeouts on the season, which that was because he had that one game where he blew out El Duque's record. Yes. I mean, more than just that, but that game in particular gave him a good chunk of that 99. Mm-hmm. On Wednesday the 3rd, fireworks night, Eddie and I will be there. I will be wearing headphones. Andrew Abbott will be pitching for the Reds. He's a lefty with a 7-6 record, 3.41 ERA, and 72 strikeouts. He'll be up against Carlos Rodon, also a lefty, 9-5 record, 4.42 ERA, and 92 strikeouts.
So hopefully the fireworks start after the game and not in the Reds offense.
I mean, I really hope. I do not want to watch fireworks after we lose a game. So I think that happened to us last year. I think.
Did they lose that game?
I don't remember.
Yeah, I'm gonna look into that.
And then on the 4th of July, which is a Thursday this year, it's Frankie Montas Right-hand pitcher, 3-6 record, 4.23 ERA, 58 strikeouts on the season. Versus Marcus Stroman. He's a righty, 7-3 record, 3.29 ERA, and 70 strikeouts on the season.
So here's the hope in Frankie Montas. Frankie the Yankee, our old buddy.
Yeah.
Shits the bed in the Bronx again.
I hope so.
So I mentioned Ellie De La Cruz. All right. Those unfamiliar with him, young phenom with the Reds, who 5-tool guy, super exciting baseball player to watch. So if you have not seen him play, you will get to see him against the Yankees. Hopefully he's not successful against them, but the dude he's really good. The kid is unbelievable. Now, he has 30 plus stolen bases already this season. The Cincinnati Reds lead baseball with 123 stolen bases as a team.
Oh, well, that's great. I hope Jose Trevino is not playing then. Much
Thank
as
you,
I like him.
you know exactly where I'm going with this.
Him.
Yeah, you know exactly where I'm going with this. So it's just something to keep an eye on as the Yankees recently, their kryptonite being exposed by the running game. Trevino's going to catch at least one of these games, right? Because they have a day-night back-to-back Wednesday and Thursday, right? Because they have the 1 o'clock start on 4th of July, which I'm glad because wasn't there a year or two? We did a show on 4th of July and there was no game. Didn't they not play on the 4th of July, right?
Yes.
We were pissed.
Yeah, there were two holidays last year that we were like, what the hell? Yes.
Labor Day and 4th of July, right?
Yes, you're right about that.
So we were not thrilled about that. Thankfully, that's not the case, this season. Hopefully, baseball just kind of like nipped that in the ass. But it's just something to keep an eye on. The Yanks shutting down the running game is going to be paramount. And I'm curious to see if Wells gets 2 of these 3 starts. Because, and not that Wells is known to be like this incredible defensive catcher, but he's worked really hard on his defense, and the offense looks like it's starting to show signs of catching up. And this is, again, where Austin Wells, because he's supposed to be the Yankees catcher of the future. Yeah, right? Like, that's kind of what we described, right? Like, he is Jorge Posada to Trevino's, even though Trevino's not old, but to his Joe Girardi, right? Like last time. Now, you're hoping that it pans out like that as well. And hey, if Austin Wells has the career of Jorge Posada, phenomenal. But you got to shut down that running game. Now, whatever it is, you got to do. Trevino's got to get rid of the ball faster, or as a team, they got to make a conservative effort. Otherwise, they're going to have problems with the Reds. I'm telling you right now, they're going to have huge problems with the Reds and shutting down that running game. So, another way to shut down a running game. Yankees
hitting the ball, yes.
Yeah, you hit the ball, you score a bunch of runs.
You steal, you run.
Yes, you do the same. That's it. But yes, whether it's not always they steal on the pitcher, it's not they always steal on the catcher, but you got to shut down that running game. Work in concert there to shut that thing down. Specifically, Ellie De La Cruz. He is a guy to really keep an eye on. And again, he's also one of the young stars, up-and-coming stars in the game. So something to watch there as well. All right. And anything else before we wrap this up?
No, I think I'm ready to hear our song.
All right. Cue the music. All right. Well, that's it for us this week. Thanks for joining us as always. Check us out on Facebook. Be sure to check out the Empire 161 Show Facebook group. Be sure to lineups and highlights and whatever the other happenings are in baseball. We will check them out there. Check us out on YouTube. Check out Pop Culture Pros and subscribe to Pop Culture Pros and popculturepros.com. That's what we are presented by. On X, you can follow us at Empire 161 Show and also follow Pop Culture Pros. And on Instagram, you can catch us at the_Empire_161_show. That's where we are on Instagram. A lot of cool stuff being followed, shared on there as well. We will be back next week to discuss the Yankees and the Reds, and we got the Red Sox back in town.
A lot of red.
A lot of red this week. Hopefully, not good. So let's just go ahead and get that going. Hopefully, Glaber continues to have head out of the cabeza. Let's go. So, see you next week. Peace.
Have a good